When you think of Dubai, you probably picture these massive, futuristic skyscrapers, right? Well, what if I told you that one of the city's most beloved experiences is actually a ride on a tiny, simple wooden boat? But this isn't just a story about the past. Oh, no. This is about how that classic little boat is being completely reinvented. So how does a city like Dubai honor its history while, racing into the future? The answer, it turns out, is right there on the water. For hundreds of years, the Abra has pretty much been the lifeline of Dubai Creek. And it's so much more than just a boat. It's a whole vibe. You can feel this gentle sway, hear the chug of that single engine, and see this incredible contrast between the old, bustling Souks on one side and the modern skylines just peeking through in the distance. This is the real heart of the city. And the price for this incredible journey, you're not going to believe it. Just 1 dirham. That's about 27 cents. It's not some tourist gimmick. It's a real, fundamental part of daily life for so many people, which makes it one of the most affordable and, frankly, essential transport systems anywhere in the world. Okay, so here's our game plan for this amazing story. We're going to start with the charm of the original Abra, then we'll jump to its super high-tech successor. We'll get into how it's actually made, the hurdles they had to overcome, and finally, what it all means when tradition and tomorrow collide. All right, first up, let's really dive into why this simple little boat is so important to Dubai's whole identity. The Abra is basically the original water taxi. I mean, before all the massive bridges and tunnels we see today, this was the way people and goods got from the busy markets of Deira to Bur Dubai. You get about 20 people sitting on benches facing each other for this quick 5 to 10-minute trip that has literally connected communities for generations. And that experience, it's always at the top of every must-do list. It's a real, genuine cultural immersion. You're basically stepping back in time to the city's roots as a trading port. It's a living, breathing piece of history. But of course, this is Dubai we're talking about, a city that never stands still. So even this icon is getting a crazy update. And that brings us to our next chapter. The future is printed. So here's the big question, right? How do you update something so traditional, so beloved, without losing its soul? How does a simple wooden boat find its place in a city that's planning for hyperloops and flying cars? Well, here it is. This is the incredible answer. This is the world's first 3D printed electric Abra. It's a seriously groundbreaking project from Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority. You might know them as the RTA, working together with a maritime innovator called Al Seer Marine. What's so cool is how the new design really honors the old one. It's 11 meters long, and it still carries 20 passengers, just like the original. But, and this is a big but, instead of a noisy diesel engine, it has 2 completely silent electric motors. And the hull, it's not wood. It's made from this high-tech, recycled, fiber-reinforced thermoplastic. Basically, a super strong, lightweight, and sustainable material that's perfect for the job. And this isn't just some cool one-off project. It's a huge part of Dubai's national vision. We're talking about the Dubai 3D printing strategy and the Make It in the UAE initiative. The whole idea is to make the country a world leader in sustainable advanced manufacturing. So that brings us to the really fun part. How in the world do you 3D print a boat? And why is it actually better? Let's get into the advantages of what's called additive manufacturing. The difference is, well, it's night and day. The old way of building boats means creating these huge single-use molds, which takes forever and is super wasteful. You get tons of scrap material, and you're using resins that release all kinds of toxic stuff. With 3D printing, you get rid of the molds completely, it cuts down production time, creates almost zero waste because you only add material exactly where it's needed, and it's just a much cleaner process. And honestly, this visual just says it all, doesn't it? You can totally see how the new design gives a nod to the original's classic shape, but the way it's built, its technology, that's from a whole other century. The process itself is just wild. It starts with these little pellets of recycled thermoplastic. Then, this giant robotic printer builds the whole, layer by painstaking layer. Once it's printed, the parts are all assembled, finished, fitted with the electric motors, and then it's off for some serious testing out on the water. But, being the first to do something this big is never easy. And that brings us to our next section, innovating through challenges. The team had some serious hurdles to jump. I mean, how do you prove a printed boat is actually safe and strong? How do you get it certified by maritime authorities who've never seen anything like it? And what happens if your giant printer breaks down in the middle of a print? Well, for every single problem, they came up with a really clever solution. From using advanced digital simulations to working hand-in-hand with regulators and even running a backup printer at the same time just in case. Check this out. This is a perfect example of their high-tech approach. Before they printed a single physical piece, they built and tested the entire Abra in a virtual world. This simulation let them see where all the stress points would be, and they could optimize the design for strength and safety, making sure it would be perfect on the actual water. And that brings us to our final section, where everything really comes together. Tradition meets tomorrow. So why does all this matter? Well, because it's a win for everybody. For passengers, you get a much quieter, smoother, and totally emission-free ride. For the operators, there's way less maintenance without those old fossil fuel engines. And for the city of Dubai, it's a powerful, tangible symbol of its commitment to a sustainable future. And this project really isn't the finish line, it's the starting gun. The whole point is for this to be a model for the future of sustainable transport, not just in the UAE, but all over the world. It's setting a brand new standard for what's possible in the marine industry. And that's really the core takeaway here. The 3D printed Abra isn't trying to replace the old one, it's honoring its legacy. It's proof that real, meaningful innovation doesn't just throw history away. It respects it and builds a thoughtful bridge to the future. So it kind of leaves you with this really inspiring thought. If a simple wooden boat that's been sailing these waters for centuries can be so brilliantly reinvented with recycled materials and cutting-edge tech, what other parts of our world are just waiting for a similar evolution? What else can we build upon?